Hello, good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening. I forgot to light my candle. That's okay. I don't even think I have a lighter in here, so that's all right. Always something, with me. There's always something. It's always something. But welcome to the live. If you're new to the channel, my name is Tanya or TitaniumBuilt. And if you're not new and you're coming back for another live, thanks for joining me yet for another live. I appreciate it. I was a little slow there on the intro there, wasn't I? But how is everybody doing? Ladybug made it in number one. Hey, Dawn. Hey, Ladybug. Hey, Mary Beth. Hey, Stephanie. Oh, you have strep hummingbird. Oh, no. It's always, it's always right around the holidays, huh? Something's always got to happen. Man, I hope you get to feeling better. But you do have some time. You do have some time. Oh, the hubby retirement party is the 27th. Well, we're hoping. We'll be praying for you. Hopefully you'll be feeling better. Hopefully it's like just a little strep throat. You take little antibiotics, get rid of it. I think I've had strep throat like once or twice in my life. I was never good with taking medications either as a kid. I was the worst. Thank you so much, Ladybug. I appreciate the 2 super chats. Thank you. She said, love you all. Best channel, best chat. I appreciate that. One for yesterday too. So we do have a little bullseye thing. I was wondering what these were in people's chats. And I thought it was only like different. I thought it was like different, like maybe they didn't use StreamYard, maybe they use like Restream or something like that. But I guess it's YouTube's way of getting us to get like super chats. I don't know what's up their sleeve, but I like it. I like that there's like a goal because I'm goal oriented. So I like a goal. Give me a goal any day of the week. I won't hound you for it though, unless I have to. No, I'm just kidding. I would never. Hey, Princess Elsa, welcome in. Welcome on in. Thank you, Mary Beth, for the super sticker. That's so sweet. I don't know if I could go back up and heart. Oh, I did heart it. Okay, just making sure I did. Because we could do that now too, and we couldn't do that before. Like we can heart your guys' super chats. We never used to be able to do that. Man, you guys are going to reach that goal before too long. Hey, Mike. Hey, Proud Mimi. Hey, Dreamcatcher. I was just reading. What's an egglet? Is it like a game, Mary Beth? Or I mean, not Mary Beth, but Ladybug? I'm sorry. Did you get it? Is it like an animal that cracks open? Or are we talking about real chicks here? Hey, Proud Mimi. Because it could be either or. I mean, especially with my family, I walked in with a sheep and a lamb, sheep, whatever that thing was, in my brother's kitchen, just hanging out in the dining room. Like, here I am. I'm part of the family. I was wondering what happened to where we got another sheep or a goat or whatever that thing was. Sheep, goat. I don't know. I think they were still telling me by the time it was done, like what it was. Hey, Proud Mimi, how are you doing tonight? And I thought I saw someone else. I said, hi to Dreamcatcher, cold November rain. Nice to meet you. Hopefully you're having a good night, Mike. I feel like I kind of rhymed a little. Hey, Wizard Walt. Okay, I'll get to the bottom. Hey, Bobby. Uh-oh, we're getting overtaken by the men now. Uh-oh, watch out. Thank you, Dreamcatcher. I actually got this shirt when I was with y'all in California a couple years ago. I think it was like not last year, but the year before. Well, not this past September, but the last September before that. Everyone is sick. Oh, in Utah. I don't know. I haven't seen a whole lot of people like, coughing or sneezing or doing anything like that around me. I haven't seen a lot of people wearing masks out in public. So I'm hoping that everyone's feeling good, because if not, I would definitely wear like protective like coverings over myself if I had to go out to do like Christmas shopping, things of that nature, if I wasn't feeling well. Or I would just actually get it all off Amazon. He loves to lurk. We need to get together, loves to lurk, and do a Madalena stream. I don't know. I bet you might know more. You might know like newer things that I don't know at all. So I need to get with you. That way I could put out some more new information as well. Oh, Aries, who is it? I'm like, I don't want you. Not me, is it? I know it's not me. I know it's not me. No, real eagles. Nuh-uh. Real eagles. Okay, they're called egglets. Is that what I should know this? I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. My dad will strike me down right now. So baby eagles. You really have baby eagles, and I didn't know this, Ladybug. That's really cool. I just thought it was. I wasn't going to judge you for having a fake egg that hatched. I used to have them. What was that thing I had? Mine didn't hatch out of an egg. Mine was like a little giggy pet. Giggy pet. That's what I had. Yeah, that thing died all the time. My mom. No wonders why my mom always took care of the animals. Don't let Tanya do it. Hey, Mandy. And if I missed anybody, sorry. Another shooting. Oh wow. Thank you, Love's Dark. Yeah, I will definitely take your help. Immune compromise. Yeah. I have a low white blood cell count, so I can literally feel when somebody is like if someone's sick beside me, I can feel myself getting sick. But I haven't. I'm gonna knock on wood. I have not been sick in like 10 years. Not a cold, nothing I can remember. But I think that's a little bit of a gift from God. You know, I lost the eye. Just give me a break now. It's like, we had a conversation. Hey, Reba. I got stuck on my knees praying for tonight's live. That's so funny. I should have came in with that. That lady wanted me to too. She said, you should be on your knees praying. I was like, oh, geesh. I can only imagine what creator she loves. We'll go over Luigi's case first because we have a couple. So I want to cover a couple cases with you guys tonight. They are kind of longer though, like the updates. The first one's not so long. It's over Luigi Mangione. And I'm probably saying his name wrong, and we'll get there if I am saying it wrong. But we can go over him. I have like some tabs up here. That's why I'm looking up top. I have a few different tabs for him. So like there's a document. I was like, wait a minute. I thought I lost the document. Okay. So he did get indicted on murder charges. So we can read over his indictment. And then I have Rex Heuermann updates. And they came out with another superseding indictment on him. So what that means, I had to look at that just to make sure, is superseding indictment is whatever the old indictment was, it's thrown out. This is the new one because there's usually more charges. Either they take charges away or they add charges. And in this case, they added some. Now, they went through and they did a lot of the evidence that they found. Y'all, Reba wasn't playing when she said they had a lot of stuff that they discovered. I was reading through it and it's a lot. So we could go through that. If we don't get like through all of it tonight, maybe we'll just read half of it and then read the other half tomorrow. We can either do it on a day live or a night live. It doesn't matter to me because it is 25 pages. So by the time we get there, my brain might be fizzling out for the day. We'll see where we're at. We'll see where we're at. Hey, hindsight. Who do we see? Who else is in here? Who do I see? Anybody? Okay. If I miss anybody, let me know. And thanks for saying that I'm one of your favorite creators, Aries. That means a lot to me. I should be number 1 right now because I was number 2, if you remember. back in the day. I'm only going by what's fair, Aries. I'm only going by what's fair. I should go up the totem pole because she got knocked out. We knocked her down. Now I should be up there. Me and Aries will be in the fighting in the chat here in a minute. Hey, girl next door. Hey, Carl. That's so funny. How was the surgery? Oh, wow. Wow. She was maybe the actual blood itself. Did they give her like the wrong like kind? Like some people are A, B. I don't know if that's a thing, if that could happen, but I'm sure it could happen. I hope not, though. I hope they fix her up. Get her all fixed up. Okay, let me see how to present this to you because I've never. Okay, we're just gonna do it. I did it. I did it. Nice Star, you've been a member for 6 months. That is so awesome. That means your arm changed today. You got the rainbow arm. Welcome in. Welcome to the Titanium Rainbow Arm Club. Oh, thanks, Mary Beth. I think we have like another 45 minutes, I think, to do it. Thank you for the super sticker. That was very sweet, Mary Beth. Thank you. And thank you, Night Star, for being a member for 6 months. That's awesome. I haven't, KCG. I haven't covered it. So there's a new one. Oh, man, this is so crazy. You are getting closer. 5 months. That's awesome. 7 injured, 1 dead. It's the damn holidays, I swear. Remember last year when it was right down my road? Wait, where am I? Yeah, this way. Like literally a half a mile down the road from me, there was a shooting. And I'm kind of giving my location, but it was like it was a mass unaliving at a Walmart. But there was no one. Well, they tried to unalive people, but they didn't. Thank goodness they didn't. But I could not believe that. Like I was like, do I JLR? Do I get in the car? Do I go down there? But then I was too scared, to be. I think Vincent fell asleep, and I think I was like, didn't want to be on my own. But you remember that, Aries? Yeah. And then there was a shooting there like 5 years ago or 10, like maybe 7 years ago. So I don't even go to Walmart. That's why if anyone is ever like, why don't you go to Walmart? That's why. Right. When I have a Target right across the street that there's never been any shootings at that I know of. So there's that. I am going to pull this down though to read it. There we go. Okay. We'll go ahead and we will read through. So new details are going to come out, or they're coming out right now for Luigi Mangione, the man accused of unaliving Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare. We're finding out a lot of things about him, and this is just another thing we're going to find out about him. He's been indicted for the murder of Brian Thompson. And for some reason in my head, I thought they already did that. They had already like indicted him, but I guess not. Oh, there I am. I wasn't at the bottom of the chat. Okay. And thanks again, guys, for being here. If you guys don't mind just taking a second, hit the like button for your girl. It's the holidays. It's free to do. And I think that it would make me very happy. Thank you, guys. Hey, Prime Paula. Welcome in. Okay, I'm going to get my glasses on because this might be a... Glasses kind of nice. There's a big old smudge. I should have like Vincent clean these before I come in because I always feel like they're dirty no matter how much I clean them. And I feel like you guys are just like looking at a big smudge on me and I don't even recognize it. But I think they're clean. They don't leave this room, so it can't get too dirty. So as we do with all of our documents on this channel, we do, if it's coming from the state, we'll do that in pink. If it's coming from the defense, we'll do that in blue. And if it's coming from like a court document that I don't know where to place it, I'll put it in yellow. So this one I put in pink today because it's the state of New York versus Luigi. So this just came out today as well. That's the way your glasses seem. I always feel like mine are dirty. I always feel like I'm like, is someone looking at my dirty specs? My mom used to get caught at the store though with her glasses on her head. She's asked people before, have you seen glasses around here? She makes friends. She used to make friends everywhere. So the grand jury of the county of New York, by this indictment, accuses the defendant of the crime of murder in the first degree in violation of penal law, and it gives the law. And it says committed as follows. The defendant in the county of New York on or about December 4th, 2024. Actually, hold on one second before we get started. Let me put you guys up here so I can see the chat better. That's perfect. Okay. I need my soda tonight. The defendant in the county of New York on or about December 4th, 2024, being more than 18 years old at the time of the commission of the crime, with intent to cause the death of another person, caused the death of Brian Thompson, and said person was killed in furtherance of an act of terrorism involving a violent act and acts dangerous to human life that were in the violation of criminal laws of the state and were intended to intimidate or coerce a civilian population, influence the policies of a unit of government by intimidation or coercion, and affect the conduct of a unit of government by assassination or kidnapping. And I hope they don't come after my channel. Did you hear about before I even start, if I start even more, like, there was a person, a clip channel. They did a 5-second clip, I guess, of this Luigi guy, and they were impersonating him or something, and their whole channel came down, and they have over 400,000 subscribers. But I don't know what the skit. I forget what the skit was about. It wasn't anything bad either. But we're over here. We are educating people tonight. Second count. And it is M in the second degree as a crime of terrorism. And then it says the defendant, as in the county of New York on or about December 4th. It's actually going to read the same as the other one. With intent to intimidate or coerce a civilian population, influence the policy of a unit of government by intimidation or coercion, and affect the conduct of a unit of government by assassination or kidnapping. And it just says, in the tent, with intent in the death of another person, caused the death of Brian Thompson. Third count, M in the second degree, the defendant, the county of New York, on or about December 4th, with intent to cause the death of another person, caused the death of Brian Thompson. Fourth count, criminal possession of a weapon in the second degree. And that is the defendant in the county of New York on or about December 4th, possessed a loaded firearm with intent to use same unlawfully against another person. Fifth count, criminal possession of a weapon in second degree. And that's for the defendant possessed a loaded firearm. Same thing, loaded firearm. Now, this one is going to be a little different, but it is criminal possession of a weapon, possession of a assault weapon, criminal possession of a weapon in the third degree, and that's for the firearm silencer that he had. Eighth count, possessed a large capacity of ammunition feeding device, to wit, a Glock magazine. Guess that's not legal to do. Ninth count, he had a Magpul magazine, possessed a large capacity ammunition feeding device, to wit, a Magpul magazine. What's that? Because remember, we thought he might who was that we thought have something for their bullets? Oh, well, I don't know what kind of rifle he had, I forget, but so it's just like a regular magazine, like a regular that's what I okay, that's what I picture a magazine looking like. Trying to get there, like a picture. Okay, it's a really small picture. So that's what they're saying it is? Like, I guess I could see that being illegal. Um, 10th count, criminal possession of a firearm in the 4th degree, and that is that he had not being a licensed as a gunsmith or dealer in firearms pursuant to penal law, and knowing that it was a ghost gun, possessed a ghost gun. The 11th count, another criminal possession of forged instrument, or this is a different one, criminal possession of a forged instrument in the 2nd degree. And that is for the government IDs, I believe. Yeah, the New Jersey driver's license. So those are his charges. He's charged with 1 murder in the 1st degree, 2 in the 2nd degree, and these are a crime of terrorism. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 possession of a weapon in the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th degree, and then 1 possession of a forged instrument. What is this? That's weird. Okay, that was so weird. I, hmm, I don't. I hate. I hated that. That was scary. I just thought the whole stream went down for a minute. I don't know why, but that was so weird. Okay. That's not from an actual weapon manufacturer. Thank you. Okay. So we'll go back up here and go to. Are you leaving us, Aries? What happened? Oh my gosh, that's crazy, Aries. Thank you, Casual Art, for the super sticker. That's so sweet. Oh, look at that. When you do it, when you reach your goal, it does like confetti. Look at that. That was fun. Okay. Thank you, Casual Art. Now I know what it does. Now I'm going to come back tomorrow and pretend like I don't know what this does. I'm just kidding. No, that would like, it gives you like, when you like wish someone a happy birthday, like on like your through text, it'll like give you like a little like explosion of like confetti. I don't know if it did it on your side or not. So it did it on mine. Very cool. Very cool. Thank you guys. Um, so I wanted to read you guys part of this. Okay. So just part of this article I wanted to read to you because they're tightening up the timeline on the day of the homicides. Like earlier reports, he was seen at the Starbucks around like 5 a.m. He was seen over by where Brian would have been walking across the street. He was seen over by the Hilton. They said at like 6 a.m. at first. Then they said that, he was shot at 6:46. Cops were there by 6:48. They pronounced him dead a little after 7. So I think it was like a little before 7 or a little after 7 in the beginning. So this has changed a little bit, but we'll see what it says. And thank you guys all for being here. I appreciate that. That's for sure, Aries. We do need healing. Man, that's sad. So 5:34 a.m., Mangione left the Upper West Side hostel near 103rd Street and rode an e-bike around 3 miles south to Midtown. So at 5:52 to 6:45, Mangione lingered outside the Hilton Hotel on 54th Street in Midtown. So they're keeping that about the same. But then, okay, so this is different. At 6:15, Mangione purchased a water bottle and granola bars from a nearby Starbucks. Investigators later linked Mangione to the crime scene through fingerprints on the water bottle and snack wrappers. Like, hunger did him in. On both times. When he got caught again, he was at McDonald's eating breakfast, enjoying his, hash brown. I hope that was a good hash brown, because that's probably the last hash brown you're ever going to eat, ever. I don't even think they serve hash browns in jail or prisons. They might not. I don't know if they do. They could. At 6:45, at 6:38 and 6:44 a.m. Eastern Standard, I guess that's ET. Mangione waited on the north side at 54th Street across from the hotel. He was fully masked with his hood up. At 6:45, Thompson arrived, and that's when he crossed the street and shot him in the back and leg with a 3D printed 9mm ghost gun equipped with a silencer. He immediately fled north on an e-bike and later hailed a cab, which he took to 178th Street on the northern end of Manhattan Island. He then fled the state. Now, I am curious why that cab driver took a picture of him. 2 pictures. I wonder if his cab takes pictures like that often. That'd be a lot of data. That'd be a lot of data. At 7:12, says Thomas. They meant Thompson. That's why I'm looking at it like, what? Thompson was taken to Mount Sinai Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. And then we already know about his fake passports and all of that. Let me put this down here. So I was reading this earlier. I thought it was kind of interesting. So Luigi Mangione was afraid of the corn, social media addiction, and angry at cost of healthcare, online friend says. And she has an interview with him. I don't know how long it is. It's only 36 seconds of it. So we'll listen to it and then we'll read through this article.
And he was very concerned with things like online porn. Like, he believed that a lot of men were not going out and meeting women because they were addicted to porn. He was really concerned about video games. He believed that people were not making accomplishments. They were not accomplishing things in the real world because they were getting sort of these dopamine hits from video games. And he also believed social media addiction was a big problem that was taking people's agency away from them as well. He feared this was happening to him as well. And one of the topics of the conversation, was about, he wanted advice from me on how he could sort of reclaim some agency.
Our fellow Americans are putting their lives on the line to do.
Yeah, we have Biden. Yeah, we have. I don't know what we've been doing. I was just kidding. We'll read a little bit through this. I think that it's just the top that says what was in that article. It says he was really concerned about video games. He believed that people were not making accomplishments, that they were not accomplishing things in real world because they were getting the dopamine hits from video games. Mangione was also terrified that social media was taking people's agency away and was concerned he too was losing control over his life due to a social media addiction, according to Bogle, who said he had a 2-hour video call with Mangione about those fears just before he disappeared earlier this year. I was wondering, maybe he disappeared, from his family so that they couldn't try to connect any of this to his family. Like say, like, oh, your family helped you get this stuff to do this, to carry this out, because they have money or, something like that. Maybe that's why he was distancing himself, but I don't really know for sure. Hey, Lenora. Oh, have a good day, Praying Paula. Just got the call. Who do you mod for? Let us know if you don't mind. And tell them, sorry, I'm not modding for you tonight. I'm over at Titanium's. I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. So he was afraid of technology. That technology was going to take people's agency away. He actually believed that it was already happening. This belief is what led up to what he believed to be the Unabomber. And he was a fan of the Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski. He became interested in Kaczynski's work for this reason, because Kaczynski also believed this. Mangione shared his views on Kaczynski, who killed 3 and injured 23 more between 1978 and 1995 online, liking one of his quotes and writing a review of his manifesto. He wrote his own manifesto, During their call, Mangione was alluded to his frustrations with the U.S. healthcare system. He said U.S. healthcare system was really expensive, and I told him about the National Health Service because here in the U.K. we have free healthcare system, and he kind of seemed to idolize the U.K.'s healthcare system. Now, I've heard that you guys in the U.K. though you have to wait we've seen it in our chat, but I don't know if it's. I know it's true. I know what she went through is true, but I don't know if it's like that for everybody. But do you guys have to wait at the emergency room for long hours on end? Because remember our Cheryl? She was always at the hospital, it seemed like, for hours. She would just go home. She would give up. So maybe, I don't know. I mean, it's still expensive here, but I'm just wondering what the difference is. Because if not, I'm packing my bags. We're leaving. We're all going. We're all moving. Mangione is accused of gunning down United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, 50, outside of Midtown Hotel on December 4th. And I was reading something today about Brian Thompson. You know how Luigi was so mad about this rich health care insurer guy, and he wanted to go after him. Well, he worked his way to the top. His family is very modest. They live very modestly. His sons go to public school. Now, if you look at Luigi, his parents are rich. He didn't go to he went to a private school, an Ivy League school. I don't know, just all these people that are rallying against this guy, are rallying with him. They need to really see who they're rallying with. Because just because, they're, just because somebody looks nice on the inside doesn't mean they're not ugly on the, or they look nice on the outside doesn't mean they're not ugly on the inside. Yep, SS Psyops. Yep, you said it. You said it. He really is. He really is. He thought he was going to get away with this. And then he cried, and then he pissed his pants, and then he yelled out some stuff because he was mad because he done peed his pants, and they showed it on national television. That's my opinion. But you've got all these groups rallying. I was about to touch the screen on my non-touch screen. That was funny. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I feel bad. I feel bad for his family, for Brian's family. I really do. He had 2 sons and an soon to be kind of ex-wife. That relationship was a little weird. They didn't get a divorce, but they weren't together. And I'm sure that affected her though too, just as much as it affects, everyone else. So, old Rex Heuermann, we'll move on. Let's see, where are we at? Okay. Let me exit out of this because I have that like in a weird spot. And this too. And this. I'm just trying to take down everything that's not like, doesn't need to be up. I'm just trying to get the chat to reload. Okay, there we go. Okay. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Yes, I also remember the ladies for Kohlberger. I mean, they finally died down. Sort of. They sort of did. I'm like, they sort of did. Me and Ozzy were in the backstage of Brian's Girls for the longest time, and he had like so many people like fooled. Like I don't even, them girls, them women they were sending him their last $100. I made $50 extra today in tips. I'm giving it to Brian. I'm sending it to Brian, and they would post the receipts. And it's like, whoa, Carl, I like both. But Luigi used to be my favorite Nintendo little guy because I always felt like he was, just like the little brother kind of to Mario. So I always liked him. But I was going to say good friend, but he's not. Not our good friend, Rex Heuermann, was back in a New York courtroom today, being indicted on yet another murder. This time, Valerie Mack. So we've talked about Valerie Mack on this channel before, but I wanted to go over this article that just kind of talks about who she is and everything that kind of happened with her. Because if you guys, we went over like the Manorville Butcher, we've went over Gilgo Beach, we've went over like the different areas that they've found body parts and linked them to Gilgo, and yeah, it's just it's crazy how it's all getting tied into a bow, a nice little bow. Because a lot of the evidence we didn't know about. So a lot of this evidence that they brought out a lot of evidence, like a lot. So we'll read over this and then just to get a little bit of like what we know about her. And then we'll read over his superseding indictment. Is it shown on your screen? Yes, it is. And you know what I should do? I should just do like this, like if we put like if we do that, like new banner, that way people know what we're talking about. That's a good idea. Rex Heuermann. Oh yeah. So before we get started, I didn't put this article in. I don't know if it'll be in any of these, but Rex Heuermann's wife is selling their house. And I say his house because I almost said his house because of the fact that that was his mom's house. That is getting him way worse than her divorcing him. Her selling that home. I mean, that is probably eating him alive in jail. I just know like how I know that she's probably wanted to move out of that house since they moved into it. And now she has her chance. I mean, she has $1 million Peacock deal. Why do you Peacock, why do you do that? Because there's no way she's going to be able to say she's out of town for all of these homicides. And Rex Heuermann was watching the kids and Unalive Girls. So maybe that's how the hair got there. I don't know. We're going to see. Rex Heuermann, the suspected Gilgo Beach serial killer, was officially charged on Tuesday in the murder of a New Jersey woman who was known to frequent and work in the Philadelphia area. Heuermann pled not guilty to the 7th murder charge in connection with victims found along Long Island's Gilgo Beach. The latest victim, identified as 24-year-old Valerie Mack, was a S worker in the Philadelphia and Atlantic City areas. Atlantic City is in New Jersey, according to a superseding indictment that was unsealed on Tuesday. During a court appearance on Tuesday, stunning details emerged about Mack, her murder, and her alleged killer 24 years after her remains were found. Heuermann, who lived with his wife and 2 children in Massapequa Park on Long Island and commuted to Manhattan Architecture Office, was arrested on July 13th, 2023. He had previously been charged with murdering Amberlynn Costello, Megan Waterman, and Melissa Bartholomew. I can't ever say her name right. Sorry. Maureen Bernard Barnes, Sandra Costello, and Jessica Taylor. He has pled not guilty to all charges. So he was charged with 6 women already, and now he's charged with the 7th. And he's pled not guilty to all of them. On November 19th, 2000, a hunter's dog discovered some of Mack's remains in a wooded area of Manorville, New York. The remains were in a black plastic bag wrapped with duct tape. The bag contained additional plastic bags that contained Mack's decapitated body. Moreover, both of her hands had been severed from her body above the wrist, and the victim's right leg had also been cut off from her body at the mid-calf. Miss Mack's torso, legs, and arms were also bound with rope. And we know he likes his bindings, And this would have been in the beginning stages, too, of his unalivings. The rest of her remains were found more than a decade later in April 2011 along Ocean Parkway near Gilgo Beach. The Suffolk County Medical Examiner's Office said they were able to determine from the remains that the victim had been dead for about 2 to 8 weeks before being discovered. The medical examiner's office was then able to narrow down the victim's death to on or about September 1st, 2000 and November 19th, 2000. Until May 2020, Mack's remains had been known only as Jane Doe number 6 until she was finally identified through DNA. Mack, who was originally born in Atlantic City with the name Valerie Kin Fulton, was placed into foster care at an early age and shuffled around foster homes until she was ultimately adopted by the Mack family, according to the unsealed indictment. Officials say Mack began living with her father's son in Wildwood, New Jersey in 1994 and began frequently traveling between New Jersey and Philadelphia. Then in 1996, she had her first contact with Pennsylvania law enforcement, resulting in her first of several prostitution-related arrests in Pennsylvania police, according to court documents. So let me see. Yeah, that's the stuff that'll be all in the court documents. So we'll go over the court documents now. That way you guys don't have to wait too long. Because this one here is only one count that we're going to read over. So he has, why does he only have 10? Should he have 11? Maybe there's only 10. So this is going to be for the murder in the second degree. And it's going to be for the defendant, Rex Heuermann, on or about September 1st and November 19th, 2000, with the intent to cause the death of Valerie Mack, and on or about November 19th, 2000, and or about April 4th, 2011, the body or a part thereof of Valerie Mack was found in the county of Suffolk. That's sad. That's terrifying, actually. So then we have this, but these are all just his charges that he has. I don't know if we need to read this. Nope. Okay. So we'll start down here. It says the 2000 and 2011 discovery of the human remains of Valerie Mack. So on or about November 19th. So this is like their indictment, their PCA, like probable cause for Valerie Mack. And they're going to tell us, some of their evidence, and some of it I was like, wow. I mean, wow. Hoarders, they don't throw nothing away, That's going to be his downfall, hoarding in that house. I don't know how I guess he could hoard with the wife hoarding at the same time. She's not looking for his stuff because she's too worried about where her stuff is. I don't know. So on or about November 19th, 2000, 3 individuals whose identities are known to law enforcement were hunting with a dog in a wooded area of Manorville. At approximately 10:50 a.m. while hunting at that, let me make this bigger for myself. Why do I do that? I do that to myself every night. While hunting at that above location together, the hunter's dog alerted the group to a black plastic bag which was wrapped with duct tape. Said bag was located approximately 1 mile west of Hazley Manor Road and north of Mill Road. Let me so you guys can see the map. As noted by the red place mark under the number 00-629549, which is the unique central complaint number assigned to this investigation. And it says here, on or about July 26, 2003, Jessica Taylor's partial remains were found in an area just west of Hazley Manor Road. Miss Taylor had been decapitated, I can't say that right now, and her arms had been severed from her body below her elbows. Miss Taylor's remains were located approximately half a mile from where Valerie Mack's body was recovered. So, Valerie Mack. And then I believe down here, the 775 is going to be Jessica Taylor's. Not that far. Inside said bag, the hunters observed additional black plastic bags and ultimately a set of human remains. The hunters' discovery prompted them to call 911. Upon arrival, members of the Suffolk County Police Department, hereafter SCPD, observed the remains of a female later identified as Valerie Mack. Notably, the victim was decapitated. I cannot say it tonight. Sorry, guys. My mouth's not allowing me. Moreover, both of her hands had been severed from her body above the wrist, and the victim's right leg had also been cut off from her body at the mid-calf. I think when I read and I'm thinking, why not take both legs? If you're trying to not get fingerprints, toe prints, I don't know. Miss Mack's torso, legs, and arms were also bound with rope. During the initial investigation in Manorville in 2000, Miss Mack's head, hands, and right foot were not found at the scene, and their location remained unknown to law enforcement for approximately 11 years. On April 4th, 2011, as part of an expanded search of the Gilgo Beach area, Valerie Mack's skull, hands, and right foot were discovered along Ocean Parkway, just east of Gilgo Beach, Suffolk County, New York. Hey, Cyber Warrior, welcome in. Where was that? On April 4th, 2011, as part of the expanded search for the Gilgo Beach area, Valerie Mack's skull, hands, and right foot were discovered along Ocean Parkway, just east of Gilgo Beach, Suffolk County, New York. Miss Mack's remains were discovered less than 1.5 miles east from where Jessica Taylor's skull, hands, and forearm were discovered. Notably, each of the 5 previously discovered victims remain on Gilgo Beach, as well as the skull, hands, and right foot of Miss Mack were recovered on the same side of the road and at a similar depth of within 50 feet from the edge of the parkway. Not very far. During the initial investigation, as Miss Mack's identity remained unknown to law enforcement, the victim had been referred to as Jane Doe number 6. However, utilizing a DNA sample developed from Miss Mack's remains on or about May 28, 2020, local law enforcement working with a genetic genealogist from the Federal Bureau of Investigation as well as the Suffolk County Crime Laboratory and outside laboratories were able to determine the identity of Jane Doe number 6 as Valerie Mack. The power of DNA science. Valerie Mack was born on June 2nd, 1976 in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Her birth name was Valerie Lynn Fulton. At an early age, Miss Mack was placed in foster care and shuffled between several foster homes until she was ultimately adopted by the Mack family. In 1994, at age 17, Miss Mack gave birth to a son and began living with her son's father in Wildwood, New Jersey. Shortly thereafter, she began frequently traveling to and from Wildwood, New Jersey to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. In 1996, Valerie had her first contact with Pennsylvania law enforcement, resulting in her first of several prostitution-related arrests by the Pennsylvania Police Department. Miss Mack's final arrest came on or about June 25th, 2000. Based on the foregoing and the investigation to date between 1996 and 2000, Miss Mack is believed to have been working as a worker preliminary in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and Atlantic City, New Jersey, While she did advertise online, primarily under the alias of Melissa Taylor, Miss Mack was also known to streetwalk, i.e. wander the streets looking for S-work. Shortly after the discovery of her remains in Manorville, Miss Mack's body was examined by the forensic pathologist with the Suffolk County Medical Examiner's Office, as well as forensic anthropologist, who were able to determine the victim had been deceased for approximately 2 to 8 weeks. Recently, the Suffolk County Medical Examiner's Office conducted an independent review of these findings to determine that Miss Mack's death would have occurred more specifically on or between September 2000 to November 19th, 2000. At the time of her death, Miss Mack would have been 24 years old. They were also young too, and right around the same age. I don't know if anyone else caught up on that or caught that, but in addition to the aforementioned why can't I say this word? I know what it means and I know how to say it, but I cannot get it to come out of my mouth. Decapitation. I had to have it read to me. And dismemberment of Miss Mack's head and hands, respectfully, the medical examiner's office was also able to determine that Miss Mack's lower right leg had been amputated at the mid-calf. Moreover, the examination revealed injuries to the victim's left mid and lateral breast in the form of 2 continuous ragged defects, which were likely the result of post-mortem malmutation of the victim's breast with a sharp object. Miss Mack's remains were also examined by forensic scientists with the SCCL. During the examination of Miss Mack's body, several human hairs were recovered, one of which was found in the vicinity of the decedent's left wrist. Here and after, female hair on Mack. A subsequent examination of the female hair on Mack led to the determination that it was a human head hair with Caucasian characteristics. However, it was, based on the DNA testing capabilities at the SCCL, unsuitable for further DNA testing at that time. On or about March 29th, 2024, the Gilgo Homicide Task Force brought a cutting of the female hair on Mack to an outside forensic laboratory, previously referred to as Exhibit A, as Forensic Laboratory Number 2, which specializes in forensic mitochondrial analysis. On or about October 14th, 2024, Forensic Laboratory Number 2 issued a report concluding that the partial mitochondrial DNA profile developed from the female hair on Mack and the known mitochondrial DNA profiles of Asa Ellerup and Victoria Heuermann share a common base at all locations. So, they found a hair on her that was Asa Ellerup's or their daughter's. Victoria, now I don't know. Specifically at a rate that it would as per the EMPOP database, exclude 99.65% of the North American population as a contributor of said hair recovered near the dismembered left wrist of the victim. While 99.65% of the North American population can be excluded as a contributor of the female hair on Mac, defendant Heuermann's wife and daughter who share a mitochondrial DNA profile cannot be excluded as a contributor of the said hair recovered from the remains of Valerie Mack. Which one was it? Was it his daughter when she was like a baby? Or would it be Asa? Where's your alibi, Asa? What's your alibi? I'm curious to know what the alibi is for this one. It gets even better. I mean, when I mean better, I mean they've got a lot of evidence. On or about October 29th, 2024, the Gilgo Homicide Task Force sent a cutting of the female hair. Oh, sorry, I read that. Or no, I didn't. Female hair to an outside independent laboratory, which applies DNA techniques and direct genome sequencing in difficult to solve forensic casework and identification of human remains. On or about November 26, 2024, Forensic Laboratory Number 1 issued a report indicating it had developed a nuclear DNA profile for the female hair on Mac. Forensic Laboratory Number 1 was then able to conduct a 1-to-1 autosomal nuclear DNA comparison between said profile, developed from the female hair on Mac, to Victoria Heuermann's SNP genotype file, developed from her buccal swab, which resulted in the conclusion that the DNA profile generated from the female hair on Mac is 1.31 times 10 to the 356 times more likely to have come from a person genetically identical to Victoria Heuermann's SNP genotype file than from an unrelated individual. So it was hers. It was the daughter's. Based on the foregoing, it is significant that 2 forensic laboratories have now independently determined that the aforementioned hair, which was inside the sealed black garbage bags containing Miss Mack's remains, specifically near the victim's dismembered left wrist, is substantially more likely to have derived from a person genetically identical to Victoria Heuermann's DNA profile, thereby linking evidence from yet another crime scene to the defendant through his immediate family. Notably, at the time of Miss Mack's disappearance, the murder defendant Heuermann's daughter would have been 3 and 4 years old. So, you probably didn't have a babysitter when your wife was out of town. I'm just going to say that, right? I mean, it's bad to say. But, I mean, they may need to march Rex Heuermann's daughter right back into that courtroom or right into that sheriff's office and say, hey, we know what you did when you were 3 and 4. Tell us what you did. Because you might remember something when you're 4. I mean, I'm not saying telling your dad, but, you know. Right? Those huge numbers. I know I can barely say them. I'm like, what the heck? The chart on the following page summarizes the results from the Forensic Laboratory Number 1 and Forensic Laboratory Number 2, which individually have been able to determine the hairs recovered on now 6 of the 7 charged victims are forensically tied to defendant Heuermann, members to his immediate family, or individuals whom Heuermann resided, lending further support to the conclusion that defendant Heuermann murdered and transported the remains of each victim. And this is where we've seen this before, but we haven't seen the one for Valerie Mack. It says female hair on Mack inside garbage bags containing victim near victim's left wrist. Now this was tape lifted off of striped shirt above victim's head. This was by the victim's right arm. I mean, these are not like, these are all like, look, taped in the area of the head. Like it got caught on the tape. Oh man, I don't know. You can't really fight that. Like your wife, unless you're going to blame it on your wife and your kid. maybe you shouldn't divorce him yet, Asa. Huh. As detailed in Exhibit A, following his arrest, numerous search warrants were executed at Rex Heuermann's residence, which culminated in inter alia, the seizure of over 350 electronic devices. In the months subsequent to Heuermann's arrest, the Gilgo Homicide Task Force has attempted to extract and analyze data from each of these devices. As previously detailed, an analysis of each of these devices has revealed Heuermann's significant collection of violent bondage and torture pornography, currently dating back to 1994. Significant collection. Asa. Hello? You didn't see this significant collection? Or you just thought my husband's just a little, he just likes that. We ain't king shaming over here. We ain't king shaming. But did he tell you? Did you find him? Did you ever wonder about him? Did you just say, well, at least he's not bothering me because, look at him, huh? So, moreover, in the months leading up to Miss Mack's disappearance and murder, the task force uncovered pornographic images accessed by Heuermann, which included breast malnutrition, I can't say that, and the tying up of women with rope, which largely coincide with A, the injuries inflicted on Miss Mack's breast, and B, how the rope ligatures were utilized on Valerie Mack. More specifically, during the month of September 2000, investigators observed a large uptick in downloads of those images, depicting bondage, discipline, sadism, and masochism. These images, like downloads, those horrific downloads, were discovered on a compact disc located in Heuermann's home office. Compact disc, that's been a while now. Specifically relevant to the Mack investigation is on May 23rd, 2020 and July 30th, 2020, Rex A. Heuermann's home IP address was used to access gilgonews.com, a website, when was this? 2020? Okay. Previously maintained by the SCPD to disseminate information regarding the Gilgo Beach investigation. Notably, on May 23rd, 2020 at approximately 11:30 p.m. at the time Rex Heuermann's home IP address visited gilgonews.com. The webpage highlighted the upcoming identification of Manorville Jane Doe, who would 5 days later be identified as Valerie Mack. On July 30th, 2020, at approximately 10:50 p.m., Heuermann's home IP address once again visited the Mack-specific portions of the gilgonews.com website for information pertaining to the investigation. Well, we knew what he was looking for. As previously noted, in March 2024, the Gilgo Homicide Task Force extracted a Microsoft Word document entitled HK 2002 to 2004 from Heuermann's laptop computer, as set forth in further detail in Exhibit A, specifically the June 6, 2024 bail application. The task force members believe the Microsoft Word document to be a planning document utilized by Heuermann to methodically blueprint and plan out his kills, hereafter referred to as HK planning document. The Gilgo Homicide Task Force subsequently hired a digital forensic expert who was able to determine that while the iteration of the HK planning document appear to have been created and modified between 2001 and 2002, the original document appears to have been created in the year 2000, which notably coincides with the year Valerie Mack was murdered. In addition to the document's creation in the same year that Valerie Mack was murdered, the HK planning document substantially relates to the Mack investigation in other respects. First, the HK planning document begins with a 4-category section with the underlined headings of problem supplies, DS, and TRG. And this is what they believe maybe coincided with her. because you try to perfect your craft. And he did. I mean, for the longest time, he was out. Based on the Gilgo homicide task force training and experience, it is believed that the DS heading appears to be an acronym for dump site, which is corroborated by inter alia the discovery of Valerie Mack at 2 separate dump sites, one of these locations being the vicinity of Mill Road, which is listed as dump site 1 Mill Road in the above Word document. Where did that say that? All right here, dump site Mill Road. Dump site number 2, he didn't know yet. Target, small is good. I'm assuming that says target. And apparently he needed more rope, cord, saw, cutting tools, foam, drain, cleaner. Wait. Drain cleaner? Is this why they ripped the tub out? Bye. Your picture is boring. Who wants to look at feet? Come up here and make it less boring. But the foam drain cleaner. Is this why they ripped out the bathtub in the Heuermann household? Think about it here a little bit. If the wife's away and he has to watch kids, why? Well, that's the place you'd be the most comfortable. Seems to me anyway. Hey, Trixie's Creations. Sorry, I'm not seeing everybody coming in. I was on the bottom page here, so. I was trying to see where we were. Okay. On April 4th, 2011, Miss Mack's skeletonized skull, hands, and right foot were recovered near Ocean Parkway, i.e. a second dump site. As detailed previously, TRG appears to be referenced to target or victim. It is important to note that at the time of Miss Mack's disappearance and murder, she was approximately 5 foot tall and weighed less than 110 pounds, fitting the small is good note in the HK planning document regarding the type of victims targeted by the defendant. Based on the Gilgo Homicide Task Force training and experience, the members believe supplies to be referenced to what supplies are needed to carry out the serial murders. One of the listed supplies is foam drain cleaner. Notably, a review of Heuermann's Nextel cellular phone records reveals that on October 3rd, 2000, Heuermann appears to make 2 outgoing calls to a plumbing company based in Lynbrook, whose identity is known to law enforcement. Furthermore, in mid-November 2000, Heuermann paid $265.83 to yet another plumbing company to come check his main line drain. Oh, like, wow. You know? The supplies section also includes notes to utilize rope/cord and bag/tape, each of which were recovered with the remains of the victims during the course of this investigation, well before the identification of Rex A. Heuermann as a suspect in the murders of Valerie Mack and Jessica Taylor. A forensic scientist with the SCCL compared the garbage bags containing the 2011 remains of Valerie Mack to the garbage bags containing the 2011 remains of Jessica Taylor. At the conclusion of this examination, the SCCL was able to determine noticeable similarities in the bags based on the material, color, seal location, knots, perforations, and size and type of closure, thereby connecting the Mack and Taylor cases not only by location, Manorville and Gilgo Beach dump sites, victimology, petite sex workers, and modus operandi, decapitation, dismemberment, and dump of the identifiable body parts, the skull and the hands near Gilgo Beach, while the other portions of the victims were dumped in Manorville, but also via supplies, similar garbage bags utilized in both crimes. When you like something, you know? I mean, he should have maybe mixed it up a little. We do need a book club. That would be fun. Similarly, well before the identification of Rex A. Heuermann as a suspect in the murders of Valerie Mack and Jessica Taylor, a forensic anthropologist with the New York City Office of Chief Medical Examiner's Office noted similarities in the type of cutting instruments used to dismember both victims. Specifically, the forensic anthropologist analyzed the cut bones of both victims, which led to the conclusion that a hand power saw with a similar blade widths were utilized in the dismemberments of both Jessica Taylor and Valerie Mack. This is significant in that it is yet another link not only between the two victims, but also the HK planning document, namely a similar supply, i.e. saw/cutting tools used in both crimes. As noted above, the HK planning document contained a body prep section with a note to remove head and hands, which clearly relates to the condition of Valerie Mack's remains. Additionally, Valerie Mack was indeed packaged for transport, as this section indicates to do, further increasing the significance of this document's presence on Heuermann's laptop computer. Okay. Give me 1 second, guys. Give me like 60 seconds. Hold on 1 second. Thank you. Sorry, I had this cough. I know those dogs are going to come back and want to come back in the room. So it says here, this is the body prep. Yeah. Wash inside and out all cavities, remove trace evidence, which he spelled that wrong. Remove trace DNA, remove ID marks, tattoos, marks, remove marks from torture. Remove head and hands, package for transport. That's really weird. Remove marks from. Okay. Finally, the body prep section includes a note to remove ID marks, tattoos. Recently, the Gilgo Task Force interviewed several witnesses who confirmed Valerie Mack had a tattoo on her foot/ankle, which depicted her son's name. The examination of the victim's body in 2000 revealed no tattoos on the victim's left foot/ankle. Well, we all know where that went then. Accordingly, the Gilgo Homicide Task Force members believe Miss Mack's tattoo of her son's name was on her right foot ankle. That interference is corroborated not only by the foregoing examination and witness statements, but also by the notations on Heuermann's laptop computer, specifically for HK planning document, which called for removal of any ID marks, including tattoos, prior to packaging the body for transportation. Furthermore, Rex Heuermann is charged with the murder of Jessica Taylor, whereupon the people allege the defendant engaged in similar post-mortem behavior in the form of sharp force mutilation to Miss Taylor's tattoo, so as to prevent and obfuscate her identification via tattoo. Wow. Based on the foregoing, the Gilgo Homicide Task Force members believe the defendant amputated Miss Mack's lower right leg at the mid-calf to inhibit and or delay the identification of Miss Mack's tattoo and therefore Miss Mack. That's sad. It was her son's name, you know. That's really sad. In July 2023, law enforcement executed search warrants on Rex Heuermann's home and Manhattan office on or about July 15th, 2023, while executing the court-authorized search warrant in Manhattan. Agents of the Gilgo Task Force observed a magazine in Rex A. Heuermann's personal office, specifically a People magazine, which had been issued on November 7th, 2016. It's a little old there. And look at the cover. Would you look at that? Well, you know, the magazine entitled Bodies on the Beach, Hunt for the Long Island Serial Killer. Horror on the Beach. That's if you open it. He could see all of his victims. Oh my gosh. Why do I feel like I remember this magazine too? Like I remember this exact copy. Wow. Additionally, on or about July 16th, 2023, while executing a search warrant, agents of the Gilgo Task Force observed another magazine, this time located in the basement vault of Rex A. Heuermann's residence. The New York magazine, which had been issued on June 6, 2011, featured a cover story regarding a serial killer on Long Island. The basement vault. That must be where the guns were. The basement vault. Shannon, Megan, Maureen, Amber, Melissa. And then when you open it up, between May 20th through 25th, 2024, law enforcement executed a second search warrant on the defendant's Massapequa Park residence. Remember, this was just this year. Notably, on May 21st, 2024, agents of the Gilgo Homicide Task Force seized newspapers from Rex Heuermann's primary bedroom, which included a New York Post newspaper that had been issued on July 29th, 2003. That's disgusting to me. That is. I'm sorry. What? Why would you have an old raggedy ass newspaper in your bedroom from 2003 unless it didn't hold significant value to you? Like, you know what I mean? My parents would have to make the paper for me to keep it that long. I don't even know if I keep the paper that long then because papers fall apart. But not this one. I'm surprised it wasn't wrapped and laminated. It said newspaper included an article entitled Serial Killer Eyed in L.I. Slay, which contained details surrounding the disappearance and murders of Valerie Mack and Jessica Taylor. This guy with the bomb drama. Well, 8-page color tribute pullout for Bob Hope. That's probably what he wanted. Finally, on May 21st, 2024, agents of the Gilgo Homicide Task Force also seized newspapers from the basement of Heuermann's residence, which included a Newsday publication issued on November 22nd, 1993. Said newspaper included an article entitled Body Discovered in Woods, which specifically referenced the homicide investigation of Sandra Costella, whose partially clothed body was discovered in a wooded area of North Sea, Southampton, on Saturday, November 20th, 1993. The Gilgo Beach Task Force members believe these newspapers and magazines were store-bought as they lack any indication of postmarks or subscription tags. Based on the totality of the investigation, the task force believes Rex Heuermann sought, purchased, and kept these publications as souvenirs or memoirs of his crimes, serving as a reminder of the events that occurred throughout the murders of each victim. And yeah, I believe that. I believe that myself. Based on the foregoing, Rex Heuermann is now charged with the murders of 7 victims. Of note, 2 independent laboratories have forensically linked evidence from 6 to 7 crime scenes to defendant Heuermann and or members of his immediate family, or individuals whom Heuermann reside. Second, the HK planning document creation in 2000, the same year Valerie Mack was murdered, as well as the description of DS-1, or the first dump site, as Mill Road, which is where the remains of Miss Mack were discovered, further emphasizes the document's relevance to the Valerie Mack homicide investigation. Furthermore, the dismemberment of Miss Mack's right leg, where she had a tattoo of her son's name, was clearly intended to inhibit the identification of Miss Mack, which is corroborated by the HK planning document, its presence on Heuermann's laptop computer, and the mutilation of Jessica Taylor's tattoo in a similar fashion. Finally, the Go-Go Homicide Task Force members believe that Rex Heuermann possession of numerous publications relating to not only the Go-Go 4, but also Sandra Costello, Valerie Mack, and Jessica Taylor indicates the defendant's attempts to remind himself of the events that occurred throughout the murders of each victim, revealing Rex Heuermann's utter lack of disregard or remorse for his actions or the victims. We all know he didn't care about none of the victims. He threw them away like trash, allegedly, if it was him. Penalties: if convicted of the current charges, Rex Heuermann faces multiple sentences of life without parole. Based on the seriousness, heinous nature of these serial murders, the strength of the people's case, the life incarceration the defendant faces upon conviction, the extreme measures the defendant took to attempt to avoid apprehension for over a decade, the defendant's indictment on these additional charges, which now incorporate a 7th victim, the people remain steadfast. The only means to ensure the defendant's return to court is to remand the defendant without bail. And that was Exhibit A. This was Exhibit B. And that's what we looked at. The pose of the following tools and devices. Oh my God. Things to remember, sound travels. Too tired creates problems. Well, he created that problem because he didn't even spell create right. I thought he was, now they ain't got to learn. They don't have to know to spell. Take down and pick up. Hunt too long. Seen an area too long. Remember, don't charge gas. Recon for video cams and pick up area next time. Does he mean like deer cams? Pick them up next time? I don't know. Well, we got through them both. I didn't think we would get them through that fast. I really didn't. Well, we'll watch this and we'll see where we go from here.
Some developing news involving a case that's haunted the
Pretty
East
tree back there.
Coast for years. A New York architect already accused in the murder of
Like, the list just keeps getting longer and longer.
6 women has just been charged in the death of a 7th. Rex Heuermann was in court this morning as prosecutors announced this latest charge against him. Heuermann is the alleged Gilgo Beach serial killer, charged in a long list of deaths dating back more than 3 decades. And News Nation's Laura Ingle was at that hearing. Laura, Heuermann spoke in court for the first time.
Ooh.
Hey, Nicole. Yeah, this was wild. We did not expect it. And it doesn't sound like his defense attorney expected him to say anything either. It was an unsolicited comment where he said to the judge while handcuffed behind his back, "Your Honor, I am not guilty of these charges," to which we heard a very packed courtroom. A lot of victims' family members in that courtroom kind of gave out a gasp and kind of a gasp of disbelief, I would call it. And then off he went, remanded to remain in custody. And as you mentioned, charged now with a 7th murder in this long-running case of Valerie Mack. This is
well, I mean, what has he got to fight for? Really, what has he got to fight for? Hey, Tempest, hey, Geo Twins. He really don't have much to fight for now. I mean, the wife left him. She got $1 million peacock deal. She's taking the house. She's selling the house. I mean, oh gosh, I can only imagine what that's doing to him. It's probably killing him inside. But you know, she never wanted to live in that house to begin with. That's probably why she was a hoarder.
The name that we have heard for years about, this could possibly be tied because her remains were found along Gilgo Beach, along Ocean Parkway, but only part of her remains because she was dismembered. She had other remains that were found in 2000 in an area known as Manorville, which is the same area where yet another victim was also disposed of, Jessica Taylor, also dismembered. So really gruesome stuff in this bail application today in the superseding indictment that details how she was found, how the body parts were wrapped in a bag and they were duct taped, and that her arms and her head were found in other places. I mean, it was really, really difficult to listen to. And also noting that it was the first time that we had family members of Valerie Mack here at court, listening to some of these details inside of court today. They also were present for today's press conference where the Suffolk County District Attorney spoke out about putting together and piecing together all of the evidence in this case that led them to tie Rex Heuermann to this latest victim. Take a listen.
That hair, mitochondrial DNA analysis was performed, and that hair was consistent with the mitochondrial DNA profiles of both Asa Heuermann and her daughter, Asa Ellerup, and her daughter, Victoria Heuermann. So, that's the evidence in this case. Again, it's just that. It's evidence, it's allegations, and we look forward to proving them at court. The lives of these women matter.
So this now makes two independent forensic labs that have made a connection, though all of this is a problem for the defense attorney, Michael Brown, who just gave a press conference. He just wrapped up saying that he wants more evidence. He wants to talk about the labs that have been doing this testing. He says that it's only one hair. He will be calling that into question in what's called a Fry hearing after the new year, talking about if this evidence can be presented at trial. So still a very, very big development with a lot of new details in the superseding indictment. And I also want to mention that in this indictment that we looked through today, the bail application, we also learned that Rex Heuermann was holding on to a lot of press clippings about this case. Obviously, it doesn't mean that he's a killer, but the prosecutor in this case said that he seemed to be keeping a lot of mementos in a box near his office and also in his bedroom in his house about this case. Nicole?
Yeah, really interesting twist there. All right, Laura Ingle, thank you. Thanks for watching.
Like, let's just say they don't sleep together, right? Him and his wife, they don't sleep together. They have separate bedrooms. Wouldn't she go in there to like clean or something and see all the magazines? But those are the only ones that I think of off the top of my head. You know what I mean? Like, so the three that I think that I think that there's more, but the ones that I know of, I feel like I know of for almost a fact. Good night, Lenora. For almost a fact is Peaches, because she, was treated the same as the other victims, other than her tattoo was left there. So maybe this was before. I don't think this was before he started cutting them off. I have to look into that now because that's starting to like freak me out a little bit. Because I was thinking Peaches, her toddler. There was a toddler, and then the Asian male are the three that were on Gilgo that aren't identified yet as of right now. So as of right now, they are not. They're not connected or anything. Well, they're not like, connected to Rex Heuermann. They haven't connected him yet. So let's see. I think that's all I had for you guys. Just seeing if there was anything else I needed to tell you guys. I don't think so. I thank you guys all for being here. It was a good live. I was trying to see I guess that they had the preliminary hearing today for the Kansas City moms, the Kansas moms. I don't know. We'll have to go over there and look. But Carrie Moody is live right now. She's going over it. So it's good to see that she's live. She just lost her daughter, so it's good to see her live. I think the wife knew more. Tempest, she can't be gone all the time. Her family don't like her that much. I could tell you that. I mean, after 20 some years of being married to somebody, you know something's up. You're welcome. I feel like I was a little reading bug tonight. I read a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I thought that was going to take a lot longer though. So I was like expecting it to forever. No, actually, you know what? BHB, the old bullhorn, she actually didn't cover Sebastian Rogers today. Now before I say that, let me go double check. Nope. Okay. I lied. She couldn't help herself because she did another video and it didn't do as well as her Sebastian content. So she had to revert right back to Sebastian. It says the facts about the light video. I'm going to take my facts from people that are actually on boots on the ground doing the actual, little experiments, not Bullhorn Betty. Let's see if she's on a live, if it's on a YouTube live. Nope, it's not a YouTube live. She's on one of them. Looks like a TikTok live, and she's got. Why do you keep playing JLR's interview with Bobby? Leave it alone. And even with the yeah. We're not believing you, Betty. We're not. Why does this is what I don't like. I'll tell you, this is what I don't like. When creators talk bad about a person, right? Let's take like Jennifer Coffindaffer, for instance, right? When people use her content, but they talk so much shit about her, it's like, why would you use her content then? You know what I mean? Like Betty, that's a different story. Like Betty's just off the chains, crazy. That's why we make fun of her. But no, people that actually are credible, like she said, what SF's nuts. Let's go see if he's put anything over on X real quick about Betty. Oh, Betty. Missing Alabama toddler. That's really sad. Let's see. Yeah, he had a response. And he's talking about. Okay, we're gonna have to go through this, but okay. It says, although I did not watch it, let me pull it up actually, because it'll be better if I pull it up for you guys, because then you'll actually be able to see it a little better. Although I did not watch it, I received comments about a counter narrative from a YouTube channel tonight regarding my tweet yesterday about the supposed 3 a.m. vehicle seen at the Stafford Court neighborhood. Now, I was going to say that, in my opinion, she was saying something about like that he knew about the cars or something, and he said something about knowing about the cars, and I was like, he's probably trolling her, like just trolling her. But I don't know. We'll see what he says. For reasons unknown, some creators are attempting to tie the 3 a.m. vehicles to a video referenced to as the Lights video. The Lights video was captured by a camera with a broken timestamp. While it shows the 3 a.m. hour, we know that it had a broken timestamp too because of Seth. He said, remember, he watched it and just kept going around and around. It was not taken at that time. Based on footage from more than 4 other cameras in the area, we know the video was recorded at approximately 5:09 a.m. to 5:10 a.m. I have attached a short video showing a trash truck traveling down Kellen Lane at 5:09 a.m. Seconds later, the truck takes a right turn onto Stafford Court by 5:12 a.m. It's nearly in front of Sebastian's house, and I have again attached that screenshot. This is stupid bullcrap that he shouldn't have to be doing when he's out there looking for a missing child, Bullhorn. The house that captured the lights video is located between these 2 points, so it's reasonable to conclude the light video was taken around 5:10, and the owner of the video has stated clearly that the original video shows the trash truck driving through the frame, but that was cut out of the version you are seeing. There are 2 vehicles in the neighborhood during the 3 a.m. hour. We have accounted for these cars, the drivers, and their activities. The lights video and the 3 a.m. vehicles that people are referencing are 2 separate events. And Brittany, don't be using this tonight neither, because we all know that you hate SF Investigates just as much. So I have attached an image showing the exact surveillance camera as it was mounted on the house. This image captured the exact angle and position of the camera that captured the lights video. During the recreation, all factors were considered, including the camera's field of view, which arcs out roughly 37.5 degrees from the center line of the lens. If you believe that 37.5 degrees is wide enough to see into the backyard of a house 2 houses away and around a curve, then that is your interpretation. At no point did I claim that the lights video were of a trash truck. In fact, I repeatedly stated that what the lights represent is open to interpretation, and I was reserving mine so not to sway opinion. Showing the trash truck's lights and its lighting patterns should be considered a read between the lines moment. A trash truck has 8 to 10 lights on its back, yet these are not visible in the light video. Despite this, I was told tonight that I claimed the lights were from a trash truck. This is completely false and irresponsible. In fact, he has completely missed the point. In reality, I was agreeing with him. He just wanted to be counter narrative. Wanted it to be counter narrative, so he spun mine a different direction. Such narratives do not help Sebastian. They hurt him by spreading confusion and distraction. I don't know where that came from. We're all sharing actual footage and photos from the scene on February 26, which proves the time frame the trash truck was in the neighborhood and proves the 3 a.m. vehicles were not connected to the lights video. Our intention is to redirect the focus back to Sebastian where it belongs. When we release information, it is to put out facts in the public's hands to ask for help and input, not for entertainment purposes. Nick. I was also told the creator who said I claimed the lights were a trash truck mentioned that he wishes he could have been, I guess it's not that, it's a he, could have been present for that test. Please come and run a test. We welcome you. I do everything in my power to give you access to the house with the camera, and I will provide all the support and assistance you need. We welcome all honest and sincere help. Let's work together to bring the focus back to finding Sebastian. And I guess this is the trash truck. At 5:09:55. Wow, yeah, ooh. She's gonna use it and she's gonna be like, I hate SF, but I'm gonna use his stuff anyway. I hate when people do that, when they use other people's stuff and they don't like the person. If I was that person, I would jump straight up in that chat and say, don't be using it then. Or I'd have someone else do that because I sleep sometimes, you know? Gotta sleep. Gotta sleep. And I usually sleep when it's about this time. This ain't Rex Heuermann. I guess I take that banner down, but you know. Huh. Interesting. If you guys have any questions for SF, let me know. I can ask him. He is really good about answering questions. He really is. You know it, Trixie's Creation. And then she'll fall off panel. My electricity went out. How many times a week does that go out? That's scary. That's what I was kind of thinking about. I was thinking about Mob Crew for a minute. Mob Crew. That's what I thought. That's the only person I could think of too. So When you found what out? Oh, is it tomorrow? Oh, well, I can make sure your stuff is there probably for the next few days. Because I don't know, my stuff goes out fast. He did a new video on it. He needs to stop it. It's because he had a bunch of people in his chat one night, and that's what happens. It's like literally to some of these people, I'm not saying to him like him. I'm not saying like him, but it's literally like a drug to some people. They're fighting to get that first high that they got when they had all them people in their chat. But it ain't ever going to be like that again. Just move on. Just move on. Faulty wiring, you know. That's what happens to me all the time. System just goes down. See, boop, there I go. I should do that one. Just like do this, like, and then just leave you guys there for a while. Maybe I could do that. Take a nappy nap. Would you guys wait on me? Y'all wouldn't wait on me. Y'all would leave me. Y'all leave me high and dry. Thanks, Mary Beth. I really appreciate you saying that. That means a lot. I had a moment today. I had a moment. It gets hard to not follow the trends because you know the money's easy. You know it's so easy to do. Like if I do Sebastian every night, that'd be so easy. Like and the money would be so much better. But my brain would it would fizzle out. It would fizzle out like we're seeing right now with some other people's. Like I'm not wired for that. Plus, I don't want to be considered a true crime case channel. I don't know. It's like one, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I like to do at least a few different cases. I feel like my brain capacity can handle the information for, more than one case. Now, if you get me up to like 10 or something, I might start getting confused. But for at least for 5, I could do. I am Aries. I'm feeling a little sleepy tonight. I was feeling really sleepy last night. I might just sleep with you right here, though, Aries. And call it a sleep stream. They have those. Do you know that? People actually... It's never anybody that you like. You actually want to watch sleep, but it's so gross. But they have these sleep streams. Me neither. I don't have the imagination either. They scare me. Some of them sleep streams. I'm like, I'm okay. But I like ASMR. I like cleaning ones. I make them actually sometimes on my TikTok. It is creepy. It's always some weird box fan in the background. They don't have sheets on their bed, or that's all they have is sheets. And they're I've clicked before. I'll admit, I've clicked on a sleep stream, and I was like, "What?" Like when I first came over to YouTube. Like when I first came to YouTube, I didn't know what it was. I was like, "Oh, what's this? Oh, what the hell?" Because I literally came in like a tumbleweed. I feel like I had a couple videos. I did a few videos before I, did TitaniumBuilt and did this channel. I just had videos of myself just talking about I didn't really have like a genre because I didn't even have a name of a channel. So it was just like me talking. But then when I decided to do TitaniumBuilt, that's what I, started doing more of the genre stuff. The weirdest I've really seen too many weird ones. I've only seen like the ones where they're like doing stuff with makeup, or like I've seen ones where they're like doing stuff with like their hands and they'll make noises. But I love organization and cleaning videos. I just love them. I like to do them on my TikTok. So if you guys ever are on my TikTok, I do post them over there. I'll post like redoing the bed because I have a, the blanket, the blankets I have a ton. So that's like fun. And I did one over Vincent's, like his mom sends him like a box, whenever she feels like it. I mean, it's all the time, like once a month, a couple times a month. And during the, month of December, we've gotten 2. And, I like to like redo his whole like little cabinet for him. And I have all these like organizational bins. I went to the store, I got them all. Everything can go into something. Hey, Amanda, I meant to say hey to you a minute ago too. I read your comment and then I forgot. What was this? Listen to Wood Soup. Okay, thank you. I'll listen. And what's weird? Like Cardi B, that was the first person I have ever heard of that liked like ASMR, and hers she likes are like weird ones, like popping of the mouth and like just like some really weird ones. But you could see, I mean, like listen to her music, so I could see that. But nail tapping, feet sounds. Ugh. Yeah, we're gonna do something on this channel, like a little Christmas party. We'll probably do it. Ooh, I don't know. Maybe like the couple days before Christmas, or we can do it on Christmas. I just don't know how many people are going to be, available during Christmas. Let's see. We're in December. What if we did it like Monday or something? We have to figure out a day to do it. Anyone other than PHPs? Oh, yeah. But if you missed it, Aries, we did read over the whole document for the for Rex Heuermann. He's going down. So he's going down. He's going downtown. I feel like my camera is different tonight. Does it look different? Like a different pointed, like a different, I don't know. It looks like I'm not as like close to this side or something, maybe. Or I'm further back. Maybe it's because I'm not reading. That could be it. Lurking about. Yeah, I do that too sometimes. I do that too. Well, thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me for a little bit today. Tomorrow is Wednesday, so I don't have anything going on again tomorrow. Tuesday, Wednesday. My dogs are out there. Thursday I do. I have a bunch of testing done I have to do on Thursday and Botox. I hate driving home after getting Botox. It's the best time to take a nap. Shoot. But thank you guys for being here tonight. I do appreciate it. If I don't see you guys tomorrow, have a wonderful, Wednesday? Because I keep thinking today was Wednesday. Have a wonderful Wednesday, the 18th. But hopefully we'll see you guys all tomorrow on tomorrow's live. I will be doing a live probably over on Unfiltered, and then over here I'll probably do a live, our normal time, 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys all on the next one, and have a good evening. And be safe. Lock your doors and your windows. Bye, guys.